Welcome back to Bahamian Mathematics and our past paper question series. Today we will be looking at BJC Paper 2, 1998, question number 23, and this is a set theory question, which goes like this. Some students in a school were asked if they liked reading or art. The information is shown on the Venn diagram below, and here it is. You can see that it has a circle with an R to represent reading, and a circle with an A to represent art, and some numbers in between. The first question says, how many students liked art and reading? And the key here is the word and this means that we have to look at where both circles intersect. So here's A for art, and here's R for reading, and the students who liked art and reading are represented by the figure that's in the middle of the two. You can see that the blue circle and the yellow circle overlap in the green section, and that is the number 9. So there are 9 students that like both art and reading. Even though the question didn't say both art and reading, it says art and reading, and the and gives you the clue that it is the intersection. Part 2 says, determine the number of students who liked reading. We know that reading is the circle represented by the letter R, and it's everything inside of set R. And so here's set R, and inside we can see the numbers 8 and 9, and so we have to add them together. 8 plus 9 is 17. And so the number of students that like reading is 17. Part 3. Write down the number of students who liked art only. And the key here is the word only. Art only does not include reading. And so here's the circle A, which represents art, but it also picks up a little bit of the R circle. We don't want that because we need the students who liked art only. And so we use this part of the circle, and we can see that the number inside of that section is 7. And so there are 7 students who liked art only. Part 4 says, state the total number of students who took part in the survey. And we know total means we will add all of the numbers. And so we have 8 and 9 and 7, as well as 6. And you might be asking, well, why 6? That's not inside of the circle. But it doesn't matter. Those 6 people are a part of the survey where they asked students if they like reading or art. They didn't like either, but they're still a part of the survey and still significant. And so we add 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 6, and we get 30. There were 30 students who took part in the survey. Part 5 says give A union B complement. Now I think this is an error because we only have R and A. This should have probably said A union R or R union A. Nonetheless, we'll pretend it says A union R complement. This little symbol means complement. And what does complement mean? It means everything except. And sometimes we say not. So it means everything except A union B or not A union B. Well, let's find A union B. Here is A. Here is R, which they represented with B. And so A union R is 8, 9, and 7. But the complement means everything except that. So we're going to cover that up with black and say not that, everything else. And we can see that the everything else is just the number 6. So the answer to this is 6. Part B says some friends ordered pizza. 4 of them like pepperoni and meatballs. 6 like pepperoni. 5 like meatballs. And 3 liked neither. So the first part says draw a Venn diagram to show this information. We can see that the only 2 items in the question talk about pepperoni and meatballs. So here's the Venn diagram. And here's one circle we will call P for pepperoni. And the other circle we draw is M for meatballs. And we cause them to intersect like this because we know a part of the question says 4 of them like pepperoni and meatballs. So the 2 sets will likely share something in common. Let's see how that works. The first part says 4 of them liked pepperoni and meatballs. And again, the clue is the word and. And means the intersection of P and M. Here is P and here's M. And the point at which they intersect, this section right here, is the section where people liked pepperoni and meatballs. And we see that's 4, and so we write the number 4 in that space. The next part says 6 like pepperoni. And so if we take a look, pepperoni is set P. Here is set P. But it already contains the number 4. But the question says that there were 6 that liked pepperoni. So what do we need to do? We take the 6 and we subtract the 4 that is already in that circle. And what remains is 2, which gets put here. And the 2 represents people who liked pepperoni but not meatballs. And we can see now that in the P circle we have 2 and 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Next, 5 like meatballs. And so meatballs is set M. We can see that it already has 4 in that circle, but we need 5. And so we start with 5, we subtract 4, and we get 1. And that goes right here. That is the person that liked meatball but not pepperoni. Nonetheless, it's in the M circle, and we can see 4 plus 1 in the M circle is 5. And lastly, 3 liked neither, which means it's not going to be in the P circle, neither the M circle. Where do we put it? We put it on the outside. There is the 3, and that is the 3 that liked neither. Part 2 says how many friends were in the group? Well, that's pretty easy. All we do is we add up all of our numbers. And so we start with 2, we add 4, we add 1, and yes, the 3 is significant. Those are the people that didn't like pepperoni or meatballs, but they are still part of the group. And so we add 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 3, and that gives us 10. And if you'd like to see more questions worked out just like this on past papers, like, subscribe, and share to Bahamian Mathematics.